Bitcoin crossing the $100,000 mark. Nigeria's fiscal outlook not really looking good because it looks like a lot of pressure on our fiscal outlook because of what is happening with the price of oil. It's fallen below $60 per barrel. Remember that it's now below our oil benchmark price, the 2025 oil benchmark price. We're going to find out about that on this episode of Market Weekly, brought to you by Nairametrics Television. I also forgot to talk about what is happening with Airtel Nigeria. All of this on this episode. We're really going to have a great time. So sit back, relax, and let's start with some of the big stories making the round in Nigeria's market. First, we're starting with what is happening with Nigeria's fiscal outlook. First, we're going to start with what is happening with crude oil. It has fallen below $60 per barrel, and it sparks naira and deficit concerns. Crude oil prices has dipped below $60 per barrel for the first time in months. Now, the drop poses a lot of risk to Nigeria's 2025 budget benchmark that was set at $75 per barrel. A lot of analysts are warning that a fiscal deficit may widen beyond 13.3 trillion naira. The forex inflows also may weaken, placing a lot of renewed pressure on the naira. And remember that OPEC plus supply and weak global demand is driving the price to where it is right now, because $60 per barrel. How do we intend to navigate all these economic headwinds that we're experiencing? Let's move on to some other stories. Moving on to Bitcoin reclaiming the $100,000 mark for the first time in 3 months. Bitcoin surged above the $100,000 mark after months of consolidation. Renewed institutional interest and ETF inflows boosted sentiment. A lot of analysts are linking the rally to expected Fed pause or rate hike. Nigeria, which is a global hotspot for cryptocurrencies, may witness fresh trading momentum because, hey, look at what happened in 2024. Nigeria did nothing less than $125 billion worth of transactions on the blockchain. Local crypto platforms are expected to benefit from renewed activity. Moving on to some other stories. This time around, local stories. We're seeing Airtel Nigeria returns to profitability with $661 million pre-tax profit. Airtel Nigeria poses a 1,147% increase in pre-tax profit, totaling $661 million. The company recovered from a slump in the 2024 financial year, driven by growth in mobile money and data. Revenue rose to $5.2 billion, with Nigeria as the top contributor. Operating margin also improved, and the telco says that they plan to continue expansion in digital infrastructure and fintech. Well, moving on to some other stories. This time around, it looks like Nigeria has all it takes to be able to raise its shoulders, because right now, the IMF has confirmed that Nigeria's full repayment of $3.4 billion COVID-19 loan. The IMF has announced that Nigeria has fully repaid its $3.4 billion loan under the Rapid Financing Instrument, that's the RFI. The repayment was completed on the 30th of April 2024. The loan received in 2020 was to mitigate COVID-19 era shocks. Nigeria still faces a lot of the SDR-related annual charges. The move enhances Nigeria's credit image with multilaterals. Moving on to what is happening in the banking sector, Sterling Bank explains delayed 2024 financial year result and the Q1 2025 result as well, because there's a lot of delay regarding their result, their corporate results. Sterling Holdings cited pending auditor review for delayed filings. The 2024 financial year and the first quarter of 2025 reports are now expected by late June. The firm said operations remain stable despite regulatory pressure. Investors have shown patience with limited market reaction. The CBN continues to push for timely disclosures as regards their result. Let's see how all of this will unfold going into late June of 2025, just like they've stated. Hopefully, we'll see that it comes out, because a lot of investors have got their fingers crossed to know what really is the outcome from Sterling Bank. Moving on to what is happening in the corporate world, Dangote Cement, Access Bank, and Zenith Bank, those three companies led the pack as regards CSR spending in 2024. The three companies topped Nigeria's CSR rankings in 2025. Combined donations exceeded 10 billion naira. The funds targeted at education, health, and social investment. The ESG reporting is also increasingly central to corporate strategy. Now, we can see that their efforts reflect a growing emphasis on public goodwill. Moving on to what is happening with Nigerian companies reporting 22 billion naira net FX loss in first quarter of 2025. The net FX losses dropped by 98% year on year from over 1.1 trillion naira to 22.2 billion naira. The sharp decline is attributed to exchange rate stability. Improved hedging strategies also helped reduce volatility impact. Some firms still report FX liquidity and repatriation issues. Sector's resilience is also gradually improving compared to what happened in the first quarter of 2025. We're moving on to what is happening across the globe. Top global stories making the rounds across the market. First, we're seeing automakers criticizes Donald Trump's tariff proposal. The likes of GM, General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis says that the tariff could raise vehicle costs. Automakers argue that the U.S. jobs and pricing will suffer. Trump's 2025 campaign rhetoric is stoking trade concerns. And all of this cites potential barriers could strain global supply chains, while the industry warns of knock-off effect across the market. Moving on to what is happening in Wall Street. Wall Street bonuses may shrink in the midst of the trade wars between China and the US. A lot of analysts have warned that Trump's tariff may dampen trading revenues. Investment banks face reduced bonus pools as global exposure increases vulnerability to volatility. Market weakens may also impact the equity issuance by a lot of these investment banks. And then there are lots of concerns about staff retentions is in the rise in sensitive division. Moving on to the tariff between China and US. Right now, we're seeing that China's semiconductors manufacturing company, their shares has dropped on fresh US sanctions. And we're seeing that this is really affecting the Chinese economy because they are big on the production of semiconductors. SMIC shares fell sharply after the US expanded chip export bans. The move intensifies the ongoing US-China trade war, and semiconductor supply chains are again under a lot of strain, and those across the value chain are really affected. The Chinese tech stocks saw broader declines, and a lot of investors are adjusting Chinese exposure in their portfolio because of what is happening between US and China. Then let's move on to Nigeria's equities market. We're going to take a look at how the market played out from the 5th of May 2025 to the 8th of May 2025. 1 week, we're going to take a look at the NGX. What happened with the NGX? Market rallies 4 days in a row, boosted by consumer and industrial plays. On the 5th of May 2025, which was Monday, we're seeing that the all-share index closed at 106,698.50 points. The daily change was seeing 0.6% gains in the market. Market capitalization stood at 67 trillion naira, while the volume was 569 million volumes of shares traded so far. And that volume was valued at 18.93 billion naira. It looks like the value of trade daily is beginning to increase because last week we saw it was hovering around 12 billion naira, but right now it's increased to 18.93 billion naira. Numbers of deals on the first trading day of the week, 18,612 numbers of deals. Let's take a look at the top gainers. Those at the top of the pyramid. Better Glass closing at 120 naira 75 kobo per unit share, 9.97% gains in the market. Tip 5 naira 44 kobo, 9.90% gains in the market. And then Cadbury 35 naira 5 kobo, 9.87% gains in the market. Coveting 2 naira 92 kobo, 9.77% gains in the market. And then multiverse, 6 naira 95 kobo, 9.45% gains in the market. Those are the bottom of the pyramid. The top losers, top 5 losers. ETI featuring among the top 5 losers, 23 naira 50 kobo, 9.62% decline in the market. And then Maya, 8 naira 35 kobo, 6.7% decline in the market. Custodian featuring amongst the top losers, 17 naira 15 kobo, 4.72% decline in the market. Mutual benefits. It's been a long time we've seen mutual benefits featuring among whether the top gainers or top losers. Right now, they're among the top losers. 85 kobo is the price per unit share. 4.49% decline in the market. Access Corporation, despite leading the pack as regards CSR spending, amongst the top gainers, among the top losers this time around, 21 naira 5 kobo, 3.88% decline in the market. And then we'll move on to the second trading day of the week, which was 6th of May 2025. The all share index, that's the NG of the NGX, closed at 108,361. What a way to end that trading day. 1.5% gains in the market. Market capitalization stood at 68.1 trillion naira, with volumes hovering around 475 million of shares traded, valued at 13 billion naira, 13.8 billion naira as a matter of fact. The numbers of deals, 17,575 deals at the end of the trading day on Tuesday. The top gainers, those are the top of the pyramid. Nestle Nigeria featuring amongst the top gainers, ending at the unit price of 1,210 naira, 10% gains in the market. NNFM, 82 naira 50 kobo, 10% gains. ETI, 25 naira 85 kobo, 10% gains in the market. And then Better Glass, 132 naira 80 kobo, 9.98% gains in the market. Austin Lars was saying 1 naira 88 kobo, 9.94% gains in the market. Let's take a look at those at the bottom of the pyramid. Who made it to the bottom of the pyramid on the second trading day of the NGX? Guinea Insurance, 63 kobo, that's their price per unit share. 8.7% decline in the market. DAR Communications featuring amongst top losers again. 55 kobo, that's their price per unit share. 6.78% decline in the market. VFD Group, 17 naira, 6.59% decline. And then WAPIC, it's been a long time I've seen WAPIC among top losers. 2 naira 1 kobo, 6.07% decline in the market. Regal Insurance was saying 61 kobo, 4.69% decline in the market. Then the mid trading day, which was Wednesday, the third trading day of the week, the 5th of May 2025, the all share index still stood at 108,849 points, 0.45% gains in the market. Market capitalization standing at 68.41 trillion naira, with volumes of 587 million shares traded for the day, and that was valued at 18.65 billion naira. Numbers of deals, 17,496 numbers of deals. Top gainers for the day, UPDC featuring amongst the top gainers for the day, 6 naira, that's their price per unit share, 10% gains in the market. Maya, 8 naira 80 kobo, 10% gains. And then Better Glass, 146 naira, 9.98% gains in the market. Tip featuring among top gainers again, 6 naira, that's their price per unit share, 9.95% gains. Vitafoam featuring amongst top gainers again, 55 naira 85 kobo, 9.95% gains in the market. And then we'll move on to the top losers. Deep Cap featuring among top losers, 1 naira 8 kobo, 10% decline in the market. Veritas Cap, to 1 naira. That's the price per unit share. 9.09% decline in the market. And then Link Assurance was seeing 1 naira 13 kobo, 6.61% decline in the market. And then Prudential featuring among the top losers, 16 naira. That's the price per unit share, 5.6% decline in the market. UPDC, 3 naira, 4.46% decline in the market. Moving on to what happened on Thursday, the 8th of May, 2025. The all-share index closed at 109,231.96 points. Still a positive day for the market because 0.35% gains in the market. Market capitalization stood at 68.65 trillion naira, with volumes of 554 million shares valued at 14.34 billion naira. Numbers of deals for the day, 16,704 deals for the day. The top gainers, Chalaram featuring amongst the top gainers, 9 naira 46 kobo, experiencing some 10% gains in the market. Better Glass, 160 naira per unit share, 10% gains in the market. International Energy Assurance featuring amongst the top gainers, 1 naira 66 kobo, 9.93% gains in the market. May Baker featuring amongst the top gainers, 10 naira 10 kobo, 9.78% gains in the market. And then Academy also featuring 3 naira 93 kobo, 9.78% gains in the market. Let's take a look at those at the bottom of the pyramid. Who made it to the bottom of the pyramid at the penultimate trading day of the week? Abe BDS featuring amongst top losers this time around, 7 naira 47 kobo, 10% decline in the market. Livestock featuring among top losers for the day, 7 naira 85 kobo, 9.77% decline in the market. Legend International was seeing 9 naira 15 kobo, 8.5% decline in the market. Deep Cap, 1 naira 1 kobo, 6.48% decline in the market. And then VFD Group, 16 naira, 5.88% decline in the market. So far, the market we've seen lots of positive outlook as regards the NGX. You're seeing the Friday trading day, the final trading day of the week. Friday, you can see it live on your screen, and you're seeing how the market performed on the final trading day of the week. And that's how we wrap up this episode of Market Weekly from what has been happening with crypto market crossing the $100,000 mark, for our fiscal outlook as regards Nigeria, knowing fully well what is happening with the price of oil falling below $60 per barrel, and all of this against our oil benchmark of $75 per barrel. All of this is not really looking good for the Nigerian market. But then this episode of Market Weekly brought to you by Nairametrics Television. My name is Frank Fagbo. Stay locked and make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Cheers.